Hey everyone, welcome to ChaatNChat. My name is Josh.
My name is Miguel.
And today we are going to be watching a birthday mashup for Mohanlal.
A birthday mashup, what's that?
Like a tribute to the actor. So people do that.
We watched on their birthday?
Yeah,
oh,
so we watched like a Shah Rukh Khan one before. And there's some for like Salman Khan and, you know, that,
okay.
So.
Okay.
So we just watched Lucifer, and I believe after watching that, you were really into Mohanlal. You were like, oh man, like he's just, like you were talking about his screen presence, and he was like, he's got that face. Like you're like...
He's got a hairstyle, he's an older guy, he's got it rocking.
Okay, and remember at the very beginning of that movie when we were watching it and it said Mohanlal, and I was asking does he have any nicknames or something like that, because a lot of actors have names that they go by. And so I heard a couple, which is the Unassailable Thespian and the complete, what do they call it? The complete actor. And also Lalettan. So I believe they were saying Etan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is like brother. So Lal is like for him and brother. So it's kind of like, you know, like their elder brother, like big brother or something like that. So it's like a respectable term, you know, that they like. So, but the complete actor in Unassailable Thespian, because he gets into these roles and he just becomes that role, right? Like so much. And he has that reputation to be like this full, complete actor that can do anything, supposedly. That, I mean, this is what I'm getting from the comments, because I'm very unaware of too much about him other than this movie that we watched him in Lucifer, and then we watched the Lucifer 2 Emperor teaser, and it's coming out later this month.
Yeah.
And so here we are. People suggested watching this, and maybe we'll get to know a little bit more about Mohanlal. And yeah, so let's take a look.
He's been a superstar as long as I can remember, because there's only one Mohanlal that happens once in 100 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
Even those without context, like you can tell he's so into his role.
See,
it's a pretty big word. Unassailable. Oh.
He does. He has those eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Those last few were quite the thirst trap picture of him.
Just a little.
ആനന്ദ നടനം അവൻ ആടി എന്നാണ്. ഇനി എന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ പോവുകയോ രഞ്ജിനിയോട് സംസാരിക്കുകയോ
ഞാൻ അച്ഛനായിട്ട് അഭിനയിക്കുമ്പോ എന്റെ മകനാണെന്ന് പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ടും തോന്നിയിട്ടുള്ളത് ലാലത്തോട് അഭിനയിക്കുമ്പോ. നിന്റെ അച്ഛനാണ് പറയുന്നത് കത്തിതായിടാ.
Mohanlal, it is the ease with which, you know, the nuances that he picks up.
You look very ugly in that film. You look incredibly handsome.
That's a compliment, I guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Mohanlal തിരിച്ചാല് it will be like a lighthouse.
ഇപ്പോഴും മോശമൊന്നുമില്ല. ഇല്ല.
I don't know how she felt about that.
You just have a smile that immediately just says, you know, I like you.
Yeah, that's charisma.
Yeah.
That's what he's got. And he has such an unconventional body type for a hero, but it works so much just because like his facial expressions and stuff just like
Claire married.
സാഗർ കോട്ടപ്പുറം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് 24 hours വെള്ളം അടിച്ച് നടക്കുന്ന അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു നടൻ ലോകത്തിൽ അവതരിപ്പിച്ചാൽ ഞാൻ ഈ പണിയുന്നു.
അഭിനയിക്കാൻ ഏറ്റവും പ്രയാസമുള്ള കാര്യമാണ് ഒരു സീൻ അഭിനയിപ്പിച്ച ഒരാളെ ചിരിപ്പിക്കുക.
Oh, so it does comedy too?
I guess.
There you go.
Oh!
I'd like to see some comedy movies of
Yeah,
his.
I think that would be fun.
ശരി സഹോദരി, ഞാൻ കണ്ടു. കിണ്ടി
The eyebrows! Oh my gosh.
You talk to it. I'll kick your face and get out.
Wait, we almost got flashed.
നിനക്ക് പറ്റൂലേ, കളഞ്ഞിട്ട് പോടേ. കുറെ സമയമായിട്ട് കളിയാക്കണം. Would you like to share some nice time with me and we'll go and enjoy? അല്ല, മലയാളം അറിയാമോ? മലയാളം. Okay. എടോ, അപ്പനെന്ന് പേരുള്ള തേർഡ് റേറ്റ് ചെറ്റെ താൻ ആരാടോ? നാട്ടുരാജാവ്. നിന്റെയൊക്കെ സർവീസ് നിഘണ്ടുവിലെ തലയിൽ കിരീടമുള്ളവന്മാർക്ക് അവന്റെയൊക്കെ തന്ത ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ നിയമം അല്ലേ? Since the law is always above the law. എടുത്ത് കാർക്കിച്ച് തുപ്പം സക്കീർ ഹുസൈൻ. മാറാഞ്ചേരി കർണാകര മേനോന്റെ മാനത്തിന് വില പറയാമെന്ന പട്ടി ചവിട്ടി നെഞ്ചുകൂടി ഞാൻ പിടിക്കും.
Even in Lucifer, you could tell his dialogue delivery was really good.
എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ചില ഊച്ചാളി രാഷ്ട്രീയക്കാരെ കൊണ്ട് സ്ഥലം മാറ്റി കളയാനൊന്നാവില്ല. ഒന്നാളെ ഞാൻ ഒന്നും നടന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ തന്നെ പച്ചയ്ക്ക് കൊളുത്തിയിട്ടേ ഞാനിങ്ങനെ പൂരത്തിന്റെ സാമ്പിൾ വെടിക്കെട്ട് നടത്തുന്ന പോലെ 6 അടി 1.5 ഇഞ്ചിൽ സവാരി കിരികിരി നടത്തണം. ദിനേശ, എന്നെ തടയാൻ നിൽക്കില്ലേ? തടഞ്ഞാൽ നിന്നെ ഈ പെരുവഴിയിലിട്ട് തല്ലി ചതക്കിയല്ല, കുത്തിക്കൊല്ലും ഞാൻ. തട്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ തട്ടും.
There's no subtitles, but I think you kind of get what he's saying, you know?
Yeah, you do not want to be the other person he's talking to in that moment.
Oh. Mohanlal tattoo. I wonder how many people have a Mohanlal tattoo.
മോഹൻലാല് പാട്ടുകൾക്ക് ചുണ്ടനക്കുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ നമ്മൾ ദാസേട്ടനെ മറക്കുന്നു, ജയചന്ദ്രനെ മറക്കുന്നു, ഹരിഹരൻ.
Or singers.
Yeah.
തോന്നിപ്പോറുണ്ട്.
Wow. Yeah, his lip sync is on point.
Yeah.
അറിയന്തോറും അകലം കൂടുന്ന മഹാസാഗരം.
Oh, wow.
I feel like that's something that a lot of modern actors lack, because you can see
often see,
and then they're just like, yeah, whatever, you know, it's not me singing, so I'm not going to try too hard.
മോഹൻലാലിന് മാത്രമേ ആ സ്വാമിനാഥനിലെ സ്വരങ്ങള് ഒറ്റ ഷോട്ടാണ്. ഇത് മോഹൻലാൽ ഒറ്റ രീതിയിൽ പാടി.
Wow.
In one shot, they said? Wow.
നല്ല നടന്മാർ ഒരുപാട് പേര്, എങ്കിലും ഇപ്പൊ ഇന്നത്തെ കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റിൽ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ മോഹൻലാലാണ് ഒരു മഹാനായ നടൻ.
Yeah, I remember that one.
ശരിക്കും ഷൂ നട്ടത് തന്നെ രമേഷ് പുരി കെട്ടിപ്പിടിച്ചിട്ട് കരഞ്ഞു. ലോകത്തൊരു നടൻ ചെയ്യും.
Wow. I mean, it's Amrish Puri though, like a legend himself. His nails too.
Nail tips. Each one, he's got 10 of them, each one can act.
So effortless in his performance.
ഏത് വേഷം ഇറങ്ങിച്ചേരുകയും അത് മനോഹരമായി ചെയ്യുന്ന ഏക നടൻ ഇപ്പൊ ജീവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നതിൽ മോഹൻലാൽ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ.
മോഹൻലാലിനെ പോലെ ആർക്കും അഭിനയിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല.
I love that. Who's the next one? I was very interested to see. Not found.
മോഹൻലാൽ എന്നെ വിസ്മയിപ്പിച്ച പോലെ ആരും വിസ്മയിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടില്ല.
മോഹൻലാൽ വിസ്മയങ്ങളുടെ അവസാനിക്കാത്ത ഒരു ഖനിയാണ് എന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു.
You know what's really interesting is that he actually trims his mustache ever so slightly different. So for so many of those different.
So you're saying he's trimming it for each role differently?
Yeah, it was ever so subtle, but it was very noticeable. I mean, again, I noticed it a little bit more now that I have one. But
I mean, that's kind of like hair and makeup, though, right? Because it fits the role. Because you can have more of an aggressive mustache, you can have a like somber mustache, you can have a friendly mustache. You know, because if you notice, villains have very sharp, angular like mustaches and stuff. So if you want to give off a presence of being like a villain, they're going to cut your hair a lot more sharper and all your features.
But I mean, it was just interesting how it's all coming together on him, though, in that his mustache and then his hair and then just his eyes and even just his, again, as we've said, his facial expressions are quite good. So he can really, you know, just pull it off really, really well. So, yeah.
For me, that's a huge thing for an actor that I want to see is if their entire face can act. And in this video, not only can his face act, but his fingernails. And
his fingernails, all 10 of them.
But it is true that like facial expressions and microfacial expressions are so important. But some actors get by without using them. I don't think they'll ever be one of the greats. I think to be a great actor and an actor on that level, you need to use everything in your toolkit as an actor, which are eyebrows, which we've seen him use, the eyes, which he uses, his subtle like lip smile, like in different variations, whether it's like a full smile, fake smile, curly smile, whatever, right? And all those different things, and then the angles of like how he's looking at you, and all, I mean, it's really good. Now, I don't want to be sounding like, you know, like overhyping or something like that. But I mean, it is, you give credit where credit is due. And when, maybe I haven't seen that many performances of him, because I haven't. I saw the cameo that he had, that brief little role in Jailer. And then we watched Lucifer. And so those are two movies that we've kind of seen him in, Lucifer especially. And in that alone, I could see, okay, all the things that they were saying, I could see it in every scene that he was in. But maybe he does have flops out there. I don't know. I have no idea. And maybe one day I'll watch one of his flops. But I want to see him in a comedy. That's for sure.
I was like, wow.
Him getting electrocuted and going and then falling on his foot. Like, he looks like he has comedy too. So,
but yeah, I gotta say, I liked this mashup. I like how they broke it down and they worked through it all. I like that.
That's very well done,
and they gave some just great examples. You know, again, those that one thirst trap. I was like, what? I'm like, whoa!
The charisma, and then it was like he would just walk in there. And
it's kind of all swaggery, and he's
like,
not
okay, all right, I see you. And what's so cool is that this is what I think we need more of: is more actors that can be heroes and in hero roles that aren't the like unattainable body figures that I think we see in a lot of movies, right? A lot of action movies, it's not an attainable and sustainable figure. It's not. They do that for roles, but it is not a healthy living when they have all that muscle and then they shred
and they dehydrate
and cut and dehydrate to get the muscles that big. It's not healthy and it's not sustainable. But for him, it makes me, like, while watching those action scenes and stuff, it makes him more relatable maybe, because it's like this guy who doesn't look like he starves himself and whatnot, and he looks realistic. He looks like a guy that you would see outside.
Exactly.
Right? But a lot of the action movies, you go outside, how often do you see someone like that just walk by and you're like, oh yeah, look at that guy. He's like a normal dude. No, he ain't. He's like some muscle roid dude from the gym, right? That you might see once in a blue moon. But someone like Mohanlal, you'll go outside and you see him and you're like, oh dude, yeah, that dude, like, you know, unsuspectingly could kick my butt.
And a whole bunch of other people at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that's all like movies and stuff too. But I do like that they aren't trying to give this image of someone that is just like, hey, try to be like me, even though you probably can't, without all the trainers and diets and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's really cool about him, and that he just became so successful and so just popular, even though he doesn't have a body type like that. So I think that's really cool, and cool that he got the shot and took off with it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, great. Well, happy birthday to him.
Yeah, well, I don't know when his birthday. I don't know when this movie was made. I don't actually know when his birthday is, but I think this was a fan-made birthday mashup for him when his birthday was.
That was nice.
Yeah, and it was really cool. And I do like, as you said, they broke it down in all of the categories and then gave examples of each one, which I think, even though there weren't many subtitles for a lot of it, I think just like watching it for his delivery, you don't need to understand to see a delivery.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much for the suggestion. I really enjoyed it. I'd like to actually know more about him. This gave like good examples of his acting style and all that sort of stuff, but didn't really dig deep into who he is. So that would be interesting to see a video like that as well.
Well, and you know, we might just have to make him
one of the spotlights in our ChaatNChat stream.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And if you like this video and you haven't already, please consider subscribing, sharing, and upvote the video by slapping the like button.